bad place to spend the night over here. The rest area at the 133. Not bad at all. Oh man. Oh, what a nice day. It's like warm out. Fancy stayed somewhat clean. We'll take it. It's spring. I love it. Feels good. That sun, oh man, feels so good. It's like perfect weather out here today. No wind. It's a beautiful day. A lot of room over here too. Got here last night, and I guess I could have pulled up further because there's some spots over here, but there's a bunch of them open over here, so I was like, ah, screw it. First one I can get, I'm grabbing it. It's trying to find a spot at the truck stops. Especially the Loves. Man, those are always full. And that's all you got over here in Bliss is you got the Loves. And this is basically the rest area over by Bliss. I think the actual town is that way. And so it's the Loves. But I'm gonna tell you guys one thing. I think I'm getting old. How about we crack our windows a little bit, air the stink out. Just kidding. Man, Greg Seltzer, I'm sorry that you're skipping over all this stuff. You're missing out, bro. Well, that's your problem. Yep. All by myself. I like it. Except that guy with the RV pulled up a second ago. I was just by myself over there chilling. Still looking good though. I think I'll miss that bumper a little bit. But we'll see. Maybe the new one will also tickle my fancy. That's right, I'm getting old. You guys see that, don't you? Look at those gray. Holy crap. Anyway, I gotta make a decision on what I want to do because last night my back was killing me in this truck. Now, it's no secret, W900s don't ride the best. They're probably one of the worst riding trucks you can get because the way the leaf springs are and the front end's design. Mine didn't do too bad, but it's definitely no Peterbilt. It's not even any setback axle truck. You guys that think that just because it's a set forward axle truck, it rides better than a Cadillac, are tripping. Well, that's a nice Western Star. Flat top, oh good. Let's pull a stainless tandem reefer. Actually, it looked like a nice setup. Reason being is, my opinion, and I'm pretty sure that's a fact. The set back axle trucks will always ride a little bit better. Now I'm talking about bounce, ride, right? Why? Because they have longer leafs in the front. So now there's a solution to this on a W900. You put the 389 leaf springs on, and you have to drill the frame and move the hangers back, and that gives you the ride. It gets rid of the crappy Kenworth steering where it like bumps and stuff. And I'm gonna bag it. It's either that or buy a new truck. I don't think I want to do that. Well, I mean, I would, but I don't. So probably I'm gonna end up doing that, because just I want the ride. I want the ride to be better. Plus, I want the look. You know, get that nose down a little bit in the front end. A little elevation change on the old Kenworth. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the 389 leafs. We're gonna move the hangers back, and we're gonna air ride it. And then obviously we need to fix all the other stuff. I got all the parts coming for the truck to fix the body damage, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna go and do the bags, because my wife says I'm not allowed to buy a new truck. Now I sent her a nice truck I'd like. It looked just like this, but a studio and a little bit more rail, but she says no. Well, she didn't say that, but you know what I mean. I also, that'd be kind of irresponsible. It's probably a $240,000 truck. But I think I just got to put the money in this one. So we're gonna get out of here in about 14 minutes and make some tracks. Doing that deal again. Wow, that was a cheap fill-up. Well, seems like Fancy redeemed himself this week. Last week on this very stretch of road that we just did, we did 5.18 miles per gallon. Well, last week, the last time we ran. This week he did 6.7. Pen and paper too. I'll take that all day long. Good job, Fancy. In your big ass hood, you can still get all that gas mileage. That's right, I said gas mileage. All right, let's go get a receipt. Fancy! $6.7 miles per gallon. Take it. That was actually the cheapest fill up we've had. Barely used any fuel. Put in exactly 100.4 gallons and we drove 670 something miles. So that's an easy math to do. With our fuel discount, that's we spent $373 on that fill up. I don't think I've ever spent that little on fuel when I wasn't topping it off. I'll take it. 6.7. Good job, Fancy. That's probably the best fuel mileage I've seen out of you since last year. Well, I mean, yeah, last year, like summertime when it was still warm. So I'll take it. Almost 7 miles per gallon. I'd have to live in South Carolina for that one though. You can't get that kind of fuel mileage. The air's too thin out west, I guess. Look at that dusty dash. Fancy tripping. know that's off, but that's extremely well. I guess we'll see how much fuel we got when we get down to California. It's time to fuel. We're about to get on 82 and head over through Yakima. Tri-Cities first, and then Yakima, then on to Ellensburg, and then Seattle. Oopsies. You guys are the ones that want to watch this. Come on. Stay put. I guess it don't wanna. There. That's right. Got here last night, went to bed, had me some breakfast, complain about the weather for Greg. It's raining. You know I gotta do that, piss him off. And we're gonna go home. Salmon jerky, aka dried salmon. I mean dried, smoked salmon. It's expensive, don't tell Alice. But I wanted to try it. So fortunately for us, that popped up again. That damn low coolant light. I have a sensor. But unfortunately for me, I forgot my computer hump to see if it's the sensor or if it's the float in the tank, because it'll give me either a higher or something voltage, you know. So I'm going to open up the hood. I have a spare sensor here, the level sensor, and I'm going to attempt to put it on and see if that goes away. If not, we might have to do the magnet trick, but I don't think I have my magnets. Pretty sure I don't. There's the old sensor, if you ever need to replace it. Right underneath there, it just pulls right out. But to put it back in, you kind of got to finagle it because it's got a little lip it's got to clear in there. So I'm going to go turn the key and I guess see if that fixed it. Because we have plenty of coolant. As you can see, it's not low. I mean, it's pretty much at the full mark. That little top line is the full mark, so we should be good. And I can put a little bit more in, but when the engine's running and it's hot, it is full. So oh, be in trouble. Quit blocking the fuel lanes, bro. Oh, make sure our crap is good over here from this rain. Let's turn the key and see if that did anything for us. If not, we might have to replace the tank, because that tank, it's got a floater in it, and sometimes that floater goes bad and then it doesn't read. And I mean, I could just do the magnet trick on it, I guess, like I did before, but it's kind of nice having that low coolant deal. So it's off for now. I notice it goes off every once in a while, so I guess we'll go down the road and see. I don't know, maybe I'll top a little coolant off in it too. but then it'll be overfilled, so I don't know if I want to do that. We'll splash a little bit in just in case it's sensitive and it's reading off. Fancy needs that right height. Fancy does. You guys see that guy? That's the back pressure sensor. Remember how I was changing it out on Tiny? Remember how it failed when me and Alice were still running team in this truck? And I had to get a new one. So I want to correct something what I said. I said put a little silicone on that O-ring. Do not put silicone on an O-ring. What I meant is lube the O-ring with some like lube, like WD-40, just a tiny little bit so the O-ring seats properly and doesn't tear. I didn't mean to, I don't know why I said silicone, but that's a common failure point on these VGT turbos, VGT turboed engines, because this is your VGT. That's the actuator, controls vanes inside, and that guy controls it. It tells the turbo what position it needs to be at. So I always carry a spare one of those also, because you never know. Well, we're looking good, so let's shut her down and go. If it keeps beeping at us, then I guess we're buying a new one of those tanks, because I want the low coolant sensor, low coolant level to be active. I don't want to just to bypass it, you know. It's nice to have that, so you never know when something goes to crap going down the road and you lose your coolant, and it'll warn you before the engine starts getting hot. So all right, let's go. Hopefully that fixed it. Well, guess we're putting the tank in there when we get home. We just delivered our empty load. I say empty because it's empty. Parked over here. So we're gonna take that bad boy in the morning to go get in alignment. So it's kind of pointless for me to go home. Good thing that didn't come off. It's kind of pointless for me to go home because I'd have to come back here early in the morning because I have like a 7 a.m. appointment. But in the meantime, so check old Tiny out. Fancy berries barely fits in these 3-car spots here, but she's gonna have to make it work. So obviously I'm back home now. And I'm walking down to get my trash can. I didn't really film much anything after yesterday when I got to Tiny, because I popped up the hood and I saw a couple things I didn't like. So I forgot to film. But I will show you guys in a second. So again, it was a good week. Made decent money, made decent miles, made decent time. That's what it's about. We spent about 2,000 bucks on fuel, and this week fuel is a little bit more. So I think like Alice paid 30 cents a gallon on average less than I did this week, because our discount has changed a little bit. It always fluctuates. So I spent just a little over 2,000 bucks with Fancy, which is pretty good. Pretty good considering, you know, it's a hooded truck, and or it's right at 2,000 bucks, something like that. I have to do the math here in a second. It averaged about 6. I think the whole trip came out to about 6.6 average. I'm very happy with that, because that truck last week, I keep saying last week, but before that, obviously that one leg it did like 5.1, but that's because it was windy. So let me get this trash can brought back up to the house, and as you can see, it's a very long walk. So I'm going to show you guys one of the issues. You guys know what that is? give you a hint. It belongs to another red truck. I have to bring it home. Makes the road pretty good on here. It's like it's meant for the frame. This is a pretty big bolt. And I have pretty big hands. Don't let this fool you. This is a ginormous bolt because my hands are freaking huge. So this bolt sits like that, right? Now you see how that goes is one of the flats on the hex on the bolt has no air to it. Well, when I showed up last night and I opened up this guard to open the hood and check on stuff, it fell out. The bolt was gone. This bolt, again, this is a huge bolt. I have gigantic hands. So I took it off because I need to go get another one of these bolts. And in turn, the way these mount is they go into the frame and use the factory, the pins, the tow hook pins. So one of those is gone. So we have to buy one of those. I don't know how the hell that can happen, but there's a lock washer and it was tight. So I don't know how that could have wiggled out. But when that wiggled, this bolt came out, that got all loose and that pin fell out where it goes through the frame. So we have to bring it home. One other thing I noticed is when I had the hood open and I was rolling around underneath the truck at night, is the damn wheel seal on the driver's side was leaking. I'm sorry, passenger side was leaking. So that wasn't fun either. Get my receipts and bills for the week. I'm gonna add these up actually to see how much money we spent. But I think we did really good. So I had to bring this home because Tiny had an appointment for alignment today. So since Tiny had an appointment for an alignment today, I didn't want to leave that on because if the guys opened up the hood, they'd be having problems with it. So I took it off and brought it home. Had to strap it down to the back of the deck plate and bring it home, which is no big deal because I have to go back there tomorrow anyway to pick the truck up. So I'll throw it in the pickup and get a new bolt and we'll put it on. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that could have happened. Just no idea. I mean, but I wish I was told about it and I wasn't. So, plus the wheel seal. Do your post strip, guys. Do your post strips. That's all I'll say. Things like this happen though. Just, you know, do your post strip. One other thing on Tiny is he's always had a little front end pop on him, and the previous owner of the truck, which is Coke Trucking out of North Carolina, man, I don't think they ever greased that truck. And I had it up in the air. I had it off the all the weight off the spring hangers and the pins, and I greased it, and I put it back on the ground. I greased it, and sometimes I could get rid of it, but the spring pin bushings on that truck are shot, so I can't get a front end alignment on it. I got the rear done, but the truck's gonna have to go back and get the bushings replaced. And no, I'm not gonna be doing it myself because I don't want to buy the tool to deal with the bushings. That's a huge job. It's a pain in the ass. Those guys that have done it, if you know what it's like. I was told by a guy that done it, and he says, I don't want to do it again. He's just going to outsource it. So I'm going to outsource it. It's going to go to the shop and get done. And then they'll get it aligned. So moral of the story is, grease your truck. When I brought Tiny home, I greased the living crap out of him. And I grease them every couple of weeks. And I grease all the trucks every couple of weeks because that's why you grease trucks. You got to grease all your bushings. You got to grease everything or they're going to wear out. And your alignment's going to go bad. So grease your trucks. And not the country. So we're home now. Got to service old Tyler here probably later today. It's Monday, but I want to get it out of the way. I got to hook up our hot tub too that Alice bought. Put the electricity to it so we can use it later. But that's it for this one. And see you guys later.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex on.